Hello, my name is Keelana, and I'm here to talk about the poem that I wrote called Deceit Found Me. The inspiration came about because I wanted to configure how humanity is related to me in my life. And so there was really no particular technique that I did when making this poem. I just started typing whatever I felt was right. And the first thing that I could think about was my trials and tribulations through relationships, which is kind of like what created me to be the person that I am today. I think that all life experiences are kind of what form you into the person that you are, and so I decided to represent that through a poem just because I have always loved writing, and so it just felt easy. The reason why I feel like humanities is studied is because it helps us to figure out what's important to us as human beings, and everything about humanities to me is kind of subjective. Different things are important to different people for certain reasons, such as culture, language, literature, art, by drawing, by poetry, short stories, and things of that nature. So for me, I feel like humanities kind of helps me understand more about the world in itself, but it also helps me to communicate my feelings to others, which I feel like humanities revolves around other people's experiences and them kind of representing that or showing that to other people so they can understand a little bit more about their culture or why they feel the way they feel. Because humanities is nothing but critical thinking. It helps you to really dissect a situation or a culture, literature, poetry, art, and just ask yourself, why is that important to you? Why do you feel like it's a part of humanities? How do you think this can help future generations understand more about whatever you're trying to convey? And so I feel like for me, this is a good representation of how the world may be cruel to us, but it is up to us to persevere through it and still try to find happiness in places where it's difficult. So I feel like art can come in all forms and shapes, and to me, this is my art because it is something that happened in my life and it may not be perfect, but it is something that created me into who I am today. And I think that me now versus who I was a few years ago is totally different, but it also is a reminder to myself that life can become more beautiful as time passes because you learn more through your experiences. And at the end of the day, nobody can teach you verbally how to navigate through life, and it is up to yourself to go through things that may not be easy in order to discover what you want for yourself, what you want your life to look like, and what happiness is to you. Now I will be reading my poem called Deceit Found Me, and then I will describe how humanities relates to my poem. Nobody can ever tell you how love is going to be until you see what all there is to see. Deceit found me. Found my first love at 18, but nobody can tell you how you'll be treated by a young man who is yet to even discover himself. Deceit found me. The gaslighting, manipulation, and trauma he gave me because of troubles he had in his life were all put on me, but that's normal, right? Deceit found me. I'd be accused of cheating and lying as he posted things online where he'd be out all night. But I put my trust in those who tell me they love me, right? Deceit found me. After I left, I stayed alone for a while, just for someone else to find me in a crowd. At 20 years old, you believe that you're grown, but you've yet to discover humanity, and humanity never gets old. Deceit found me. I never knew his age. He seemed young but didn't act my age. It was all fun and games until he scared me far away. Deceit found me. Here I found an old fling who I believed knew more about me than me. But then all I could see was how much he wanted to use me. Deceit found me. I never lose hope, for I believe in every journey, and this is when I came into contact with a young man who was cute and flirty. He was so happy in the beginning, and we'd hang out a lot until a bump in the road hit and he rejected my every thought. One day, with no word, he moved away and I never saw it coming, until one day I saw the person who he'd been hiding in his closet. Deceit found me. A young man who I'd met along the road was someone who I'd known far too long. He'd come my way 2 years prior, so one day he called me when I was simply tired. He came as a friend, no games that were played, which is exactly how I've fallen in love with him today. He was there to listen, and he has always been a shoulder to cry on. Deceit found me a few times, but now he's retired. I believe that humanity's role in my poem is to ask yourself what you believe love is and how you define happiness for yourself and for others around you, because everybody has a different vision for what that looks like for themselves. And to me, I believe that love is kind, pure, genuine, sweet, and full of laughter, excitement, and joy. By representing to you how I have lived my life, it can further teach others how to decide what is important in their lives and how they can make their lives better, but also their own lives as well. Humanity's purpose is to help you ask those questions about what challenges you may be facing within your family, within your community, or whomever you're around, and how to go about moving forward to make your world a better place.